Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be discussing something very serious going on right now, especially in Ogun State and in Lagos State, especially in the suburbs of those two states. Now, this thing has been predicted. Weeks ago I've already talked about it that these things are going to start happening. Now, it is because when people are very desperate, crimes will surge. So now, lootings and robberies are skyrocketing in the suburbs of Ogun State and Lagos State. Now, I understand most of the things happening right now, or they have just happened in the past few days, 3 days ago. Now, most of those ones are due to opportunistic crimes. So, most of those people are actually criminals going out and taking opportunity of this event, of this entire lockdown, to rob people, to loot stores, and to get what they want to get. You understand? So, that's what has been happening. And glory to God, most of those people have been apprehended by the security forces. But what I'm trying to say is that you are not going to have that as the end of the entire thing. People are going to start committing crimes even much more during this period. I'm not talking about those people who are committing opportunistic crime again. I'm talking about people that are very desperate. People very, very concerned about their family members, about feeding their family members. People very concerned about avoiding hunger and avoiding dying from hunger. I'm telling you, that's just the fact. Honestly, you really won't know what people would do until people get very, very desperate. For example, consider people that crashed, in a plane crash, or went down with a plane crash, and then they were not discovered for a couple of days. I'm telling you, before you know, most of those people are going to start practicing cannibalism, because when hunger gets you to a particular point, you will lose all sense of morality, you will lose all sense of your values or whatever you think you had. I'm telling you, that's just the fact, that's just the way things go. Now, what I'm trying to say is that soon enough, people are going to start looting stores. People are told to stay at home, stay away, don't mingle together, don't go into the market. In some states, it's very, very difficult, like total shutdown. Now, what I'm trying to say is that before you know, when people can't get food, there's a difference. Some people don't even have the money, and then some have the money, they can't get it because the stores are locked. So if you know the money, if you know the food is directly inside that store right there, or the shop right there, and the only reason why you can't get it is because the government has already closed everything down. I'm telling you, soon enough, people are going to put two and two together, and they're going to just go over there and loot the place up, whether in the middle of the night or even in broad daylight. When it gets to a particular point and people are very desperate, they're going to start looting stores, they're going to start looting houses. And what happens then? You're going to have increase in a lot of aggression and increase in a lot of criminal actions all around. So that's just the situation on ground right now. I understand that this entire lockdown is for our own good, is for the good of the people, and that's just the situation. We have a very serious, unprecedented thing happening around the world right now. We are not the only one going through it. Many of the nations around the world, the biggest nations around the world, the United States, China, all over, they are suffering from this pandemic right now, and we are not an exception. So we need to practice this entire lockdown and this social distancing in order for us to get past this period. That is very true. But this same question that we're facing right now in Nigeria is the same thing that the United States is facing right now, because soon enough, people are going to start getting desperate and are going to start fighting to get themselves to eat. That's just the situation. Man must work. People need food for sustenance. Nobody's going to sit down in their house gently and say, I'm just obeying what the governor is saying and obeying what the president is saying while I starve to death, or while my parents are starving to death, or while my mother is starving to death, while my children are starving to death. You really want to know what people are going to do until when they see their children suffering. I'm telling you, people are going to do very desperate things that they've never done in their lives. People that have never thought about stealing before are going to go around and rob because of this. That's the situation. So we really need to get this thing under control before it gets to that period. Yes, the government, they're talking about palliatives that they have been doing, reaching out to Nigerians, especially the poorest of the poor. But the situation on ground, according to the president, it says that the Nigerian Social Security Program, which of course is the social investment program, has just about 2.6 million households in Nigeria in record. 2.6 million households. And of course, that's actually wrong. I actually checked over at the website of the program itself, and it's actually about 1.6 million. So the president actually inflated the entire number by 1 million. So, okay, yeah, that's what politicians do. So no problem with that, although that's very dishonest. But 1.6 million households. We have over 200 million people in Nigeria. Now, let's try to assume that we have 10 people in each household in Nigeria, which of course is very liberal, but just for the sake of argument, let's have that. So we have 200 million people in Nigeria. Now, 10 people per household, that makes us 20 million households in Nigeria. Again, very liberal, 20 million households. Now, if you have 20 million households, then we understand that about 70% of Nigerians are living under poverty. So let's go with that. So 70% of the households are going to be under poverty. So that means 14 points. That's around 14 million people. So 14 million households exactly. 14 million households are under poverty. So we are supposed to address the poverty-stricken people with these entire palliatives, which means you are supposed to address 14 million households. And Nigeria, the president is saying that they have only 2.6, which of course is just 1.6 million households in the register. And it's not even like it's the entire register they are taking care of right now, which means you are leaving about 14 million people. Okay, let's even take away the 1.6 million, which means you have about 12.4 million people. So you have about 12.4 million people right now without any source of income, right now without any way to feed themselves. Especially most of those people need to go outside every single day to fend for themselves in order for them to eat. And you're not even addressing them right now. And even for those people they have been addressing, some of them are complaining that the sustenance they're giving them is not even enough. Imagine in a particular example, like 4 loaves of bread were given to a whole building. How are they supposed to survive with 4 loaves of bread for an entire building? There are so many people living in that building. And for how long? Is it just for a day? Is it for a month? So many things unknown. So this is the problem. If we don't want the social order and the legal order to break down completely in Nigeria, we need to figure out a way to increase these palliatives. I don't care how they're going to do it, because if you don't do it, sooner or later people are going to be like, I don't even care about this entire corona thing. I don't care. If I'm going to get sick, let me get sick. Nobody cares about that. Corona or no corona, I cannot die of hunger. So that's just one thing we really need to consider. So anyway, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for following up. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and also share with your friends. It's going to help my channel to grow. Like the video, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next segment. Bye.